You texted them. Nothing. You called them. Nothing. You walked into the room and said hi. They looked at their phone like you didn't exist. And now you're spiraling. You're replaying every conversation from the past week trying to figure out what you did wrong. You're drafting a long paragraph in your notes app, editing it over and over, wondering if you should send it. You're apologizing in your head for things you're not even sure you did. And the worst part? They haven't said a single word, but somehow they're controlling every thought in your brain. Here's what you need to hear. The silent treatment is not the absence of communication. It is the most aggressive form of communication there is. And the reason it's destroying you right now is because you're playing the exact role they need you to play. But after this video, you won't play it anymore. You'll have one move that flips the entire power dynamic, and it will make them lose control of the only weapon they have. Let me explain why the silent treatment works so well, and why your natural response makes it worse. When someone goes silent on you, your brain interprets it as a social threat. Neuroscience research shows that social rejection activates the same regions in your brain as physical pain, literal pain. So that tightness in your chest, that sick feeling in your stomach, your body is processing this the same way it would process being punched. And what do you do when you're in pain? You try to make it stop, you chase, you over-explain, you apologize, you send another text, you knock on their door. Every single one of those actions is a reward for the person giving you the silent treatment, because the silent treatment only has power when it produces anxiety in you. Your panic is the proof that it's working. And every time you chase, you're telling them, this works, keep doing it. I call this the silence trap. The person withdrawing isn't losing anything. They're sitting back, watching you unravel and gaining more control with every minute they say nothing. Your desperation is their currency. And as long as you keep paying, they'll never stop charging. So here's the move. And it's going to feel wrong at first because it goes against every instinct your anxious brain is screaming at you. But that's exactly why it works. The move is called strategic mirroring. You don't chase, you don't withdraw in anger, you match their energy, but from a place of calm, not revenge. Let me break it into 3 phases. Phase 1, the full stop. The moment you recognize the silent treatment has started, and you'll know because you've already sent 2 or 3 messages with no meaningful response. You stop all pursuit. No more texts, no more check-ins, no more walking into their space to test the temperature. You go completely quiet. Not cold, not petty, just still. Think of it like this. They lit a fire and they're waiting for you to run around trying to put it out. Instead, you sit down. You don't fan the flames. You don't pour gasoline on them by getting angry. You simply stop feeding the fire. And fires that aren't fed, they die. This phase is the hardest because your brain will scream at you to do something. It will tell you the relationship is ending. It will tell you that if you don't act now, you'll lose them forever. That voice is not wisdom. That voice is withdrawal. Treat it like a craving, not a command. Phase 2, the visible calm. This is where most people get it wrong. They go silent, but they sulk. They go quiet, but their body language screams resentment. That's not mirroring. That's a counterattack, and the other person can feel it. Instead, you become visibly okay, not performing happiness, not being fake, just genuinely redirecting your energy into your own life. You go to the gym, you meet a friend for coffee, you work on that project you've been putting off, you laugh at something on your phone, not to provoke them, but because you actually found something funny. Here's what this does. The silent treatment is designed to make you shrink. When you don't shrink, when your world doesn't collapse around their absence, it breaks the entire equation. They expected you to be smaller without them. Instead, you're the same size, maybe even bigger, and that is deeply unsettling for someone who believed their silence was a weapon. Phase 3, the one-line reset. After you've held your ground, and this could be hours or it could be days depending on the pattern, you open the door exactly once, not with a paragraph, not with an emotional plea, one calm, clear sentence, something like, I'm here when you're ready to talk about this like adults, or I've noticed we're not communicating. I'd like to fix that when you're ready. That's it. One sentence, no follow-up, no checking if they read it. You say it once and you walk away. This single line does 3 things simultaneously. It shows you're not afraid of the conflict, it puts the responsibility for re-engagement on them, and it communicates a boundary. I'm willing to talk, but I'm not willing to beg. The average person sends 12 messages trying to repair the silence. The person who understands power sends 1 and means it. Now, I want to tell you something that goes beyond any relationship tactic. If you're someone who has been on the receiving end of the silent treatment repeatedly, in your relationship, in your family, in your friendships, I want you to understand what's really happening beneath all of this. Somewhere along the way, you learn that love is something you have to earn by performing. That connection comes with conditions. That if someone pulls away, it's your job to pull them back. That belief didn't come from nowhere. Someone taught it to you, probably very early. And every time you chase someone's silence, you're not saving the relationship. You're reenacting an old wound. Learning strategic mirroring isn't just about winning a power struggle. It's about breaking a cycle. It's about becoming the kind of person who says, I will not abandon myself to keep someone else comfortable. My peace is not a bargaining chip. And if your silence is a punishment, then my stillness is a choice. That is not the same person who was spiraling 30 minutes ago. That is someone new. So here's what I want you to do. The next time someone goes quiet on you and you feel that pull in your chest, that urge to fix it immediately, don't. Give yourself 1 hour, just 1 hour of doing nothing about it. Redirect that energy into literally anything else. After that hour, ask yourself, do I actually want to reach out, or do I just want the anxiety to stop? If the answer is anxiety, you wait. That 1 hour is the beginning of a completely different relationship with silence. If you're ready to stop chasing people's silence and start commanding your own, type unshaken in the comments. Let me see how many of us are done begging for a conversation we deserve. I'll see you in the next one.